2, 1, 0.
Om Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Welcome back, everybody. Today, slightly different episode. You can see by the way I'm dressed. No T-lock, nothing around me. I'm just wearing my normal clothes. This is the bass pixie. She's awesome, the bassist of a band called Bamboozle. You can find them. They're a rockabilly band. She is also a teacher on YouTube. Find her stuff if you play upright bass like I do and want to learn. She is really one of the best. But I'm basically saying that if I'm looking like this, today is going to be something different. And it's not spiritual. I want to talk about something that just happened to me 2 days ago. So it's Saturday, May 18th, 2024. On Thursday, my girlfriend and I were the victim of a crime. And I wanted to share that crime. We're not alone. It's a very common, popular crime. But it just is frustrating. And I want to talk about that. So, nothing religious here, no religious garb. Just sort of venting a little bit on human nature. Well, let me put it this way. A few years ago, then President Donald Trump got in trouble for calling some people animals. And everyone said, well, he's calling immigrants animals. No, he was calling crime, criminals, gang members, folks like that, animals. Folks who were violent. He was calling them animals. And you know what? I can totally understand. Because what happened to me feels like it was done by animals. People who were living purely for animal instincts. And to consider that there are people like that in the world. I just had to vent today. So it's just a low-key little thing I just wanted to share, something very personal. But it was just like, my girlfriend actually says she feels violated. I don't, because I spent 6 years in New York City. I don't feel violated. I'm just like, yeah, society sucks. I that sense of safety, I don't really think I have anymore. So we were the victim of what is called the Kia Challenge. Now you can Wikipedia this, has its own Wikipedia page, but if you're not familiar with this, it's the I guess the full name could be the TikTok Kia Challenge. So in 2021, some young punks, I don't know, what do you want to call them, put up a TikTok video that showed you how to hotwire a car. Essentially, certain models of the Kia or the Hyundai, older models, you can basically hotwire them using a screwdriver and a USB port. This is well known. I'm not sharing anything that hasn't been reported by the New York Times and whatever. Kia actually lost a $200 million lawsuit over this. So this is all public information. And the kids were arrested. Well, what happened was, one article that I found on this reported that in 1 year, in I don't know, one state or whatever, like 126 Kias were reported stolen. After the video, it was more like 1,000. Yeah, TikTok's garbage. I'm sorry. TikTok and X, I could do without. Don't want to ban them. I'm not really comfortable about banning them, but they're garbage. They're horrible. People die because of TikTok challenges. So it basically became this thing where these guys showed you how to hotwire a car and then said, hey, why don't you do it? Or it became something where, why don't you do it? And put your TikTok video up and we'll all explain, yay, look at what you did. Yeah, you're so awesome. You're Gangsters. Woo! Al Capone's so proud of you. Basically, that's what it was. TikTok challenge. Steal someone's car, post it on TikTok, and find the love. I'm being totally facetious right now because it's garbage. Well, they did it to us. We own a Kia Soul, and it's a 2012, and we park on the street because I live in an apartment, and so it's actually a secondary car. We actually bought a Subaru last year, and we kept this car because we thought there might be some family issues that would have us move, and then we would need two cars because our work schedule is like I go to work at 9:30, my girlfriend goes to work at noon. It's we would need two cars. And so we thought, we'll just keep this one. She's been good to us for a few years. She's our little old lady, and we don't pay hardly any insurance on her. And she just sits here. Um, but we really don't use her. I had to move my base the other day, and that was like the first time we used her since December. So she's just a side thing. Um, and my girlfriend goes out running in the morning because she's a marathon runner, and it's like I don't know 6:45 in the morning, and so when she leaves, I'll often get up. And I was in the shower, and I just gotten out of the shower a little bit after 7, and all of a sudden I hear, "I have to talk to you. Are you dressed? Whatever." I'm like, "Wait," and I'm putting on my clothes, and she's describing something, and I'm like, "What?" So I threw on my clothes, and we walked down to the car, and I had parked it on the edge of this overpass where you can park. The farmers market had filled up anything local, which in a way is, I guess, good because we can kind of leave it there and not sweat it being ticketed in a few days. But it's also sort of a little bit off the beaten path, so there's no like house right there. If something happened, nobody heard it. Um, but someone smashed the window on the passenger side and destroyed the ignition. And the window was totally gone, all over inside, outside the car. And the ignition underneath, the steering column was ripped apart. And then they had pulled apart the ignition. And I'm looking at this and going, okay, it looks like someone tried to jab a screwdriver in and tried to destroy this, but they couldn't. They couldn't get any farther. And the car is still there because they failed the challenge because our car has a key fob. So the TikTok challenge is for the cars that don't. And old Hyundais and old Kias don't. Not, or at least many of them did not, but ours does. So one of two things happened. Either the key fob actually wasn't the problem and these were just incompetent thugs, or they hit something, they realized they couldn't go any farther, they had no idea what to do, and they couldn't get the car started without the key fob. Or there's another option, they could get the car started, but they couldn't turn the steering wheel, which means they would have run right into the car in front of them. So they just left. And they didn't steal anything. And I didn't know about the TikTok challenge until later in the day, but they didn't steal anything. Now, we didn't have much in there. The joke's kind of been like they didn't steal a very expensive snow shovel. We had Gatorade in there. I think there was some snacks that my girlfriend just left in there. They didn't take any food. So they went through all this effort and they didn't steal anything. So that's why we don't think they were thieves. And later when I found out this TikTok challenge, I'm like, they were trying to jack a car to make a video. Well, both my girlfriend and I then took the day off from work. Both of us luckily could do that. Texting work going, yeah, not going to be in. We'll see how the day turns out. Had to call the cops. They had to report it. The cop was very nice. He was really cool. But he goes, yeah, back in the old days, we'd fingerprint and take photos. But now their force is so small, we just report it and that's it. There's nothing we could do. And he goes, I know this doesn't help, but I'm working up on the west end of town. And yeah, this happens almost daily. Someone's, having their car broken into. Like, wow, welcome to the world where our police forces are useless. But this is also the city where they recommended that we all carry Narcan. So if we see someone having a drug overdose, don't call 911 because they said they may not be able to respond. We should take care of the drug addict. Even though if the drug addict dies and it's due to our misprocedure, we could get in trouble. But, the cops are useless now. Welcome to society. But he was nice. He was really cool about it. I mean, he was a really nice guy. Insurance was useless. They wouldn't cover it because we had the basic insurance. But breaking and entering into a car to steal it isn't considered basic. It's considered like high level, and so they didn't cover it. Nothing. They don't even give you a percentage like we'll cover up to $100 because you give us so much money every month. No, just nothing, which is bullshit. What a bullshit game. I pay you $40 a month and you won't cover it because this is in a different category. If you had said to us, look, we can't cover a repair of a window, but we'll give you $100. There. We'll refund you $100 worth of expenses. That would have been something. No, but you know what they did say? The woman on the phone said, I'll wipe any supplementary fees. Excuse me? What? You're not doing anything, but you're going to charge me fees for not doing anything? You denied my claim. I pay you every month. You denied the claim, but you're going to charge me fees? For what? You're going to charge me for being the victim of a crime? Essentially. Yeah, insurance is a scam. Total scam. Anyways, then we had to call garages and figure out what was going on, and lots of debating. And so because they went so far into this, they potentially got, I forget what, it's not the inhibitor, I forget the word right now, but in order to replace this, you have to get into the computer. So a lot of auto body parts and repair places aren't licensed to work on the computer on the car. So it was like we called like a couple places, like, okay, let's just go call the Kia Soul place, even though it's a used car. And they're like, oh yeah, come on over. So we made an appointment for a month from now because that was the earliest they could get us in. And then the glass place, there's two options. One, we go to them, and another comes to us. And we ended up making an appointment in on the 2+ weeks from now. And the glass place that can come to us can come to us. So what we're going to do is in 2 weeks from now, they'll come to us, they'll fix the glass, and then that day we'll bring the car over to the dealership and let them keep it for 2 weeks, and then they'll examine it and tell us what is wrong and what needs to be fixed and how much it's going to cost. And the reason we're doing that is because we have to move the car because it will get ticketed and towed. And if it sits there for a month, it'll be impounded. And here's the thing. We can't drive it to the glass place because they made so much destruction the key doesn't even go in. So we can't even start the car. So I have a dead car on the sidewalk right now that I can't move without AAA. AAA is great, fine. But if they bring it to the glass place, well, we have to now call a regular tow truck to have them bring it home. and is a regular tow truck going to park on the sidewalk? I mean, I guess they will, but we can't move it. Or, so it's this bind of, okay, what do we do? Well, we have to have the glass people come, which is more expensive. And then we have to have AAA take it. And then they have, it's just like, it was a day of figuring stuff out. We didn't settle until like 4:15. And I joked, it's like, well, if I leave now, I could get an hour worth of work in. And what else was it? And then it was a matter of the dealership to just look at it and tell us what's wrong, or to price it out, really. It's going to be $200 to diagnose it. Now, we can AAA the car out to the dealership, give them $200, they'll look at it. But let's say we didn't have the money and we couldn't fix it. We now have to pay a tow truck to tow it back to the house, to park it on the street. But we're only going to get about 2 weeks on the street before they ticket again, because that's about how the window is in this area. So every 2 weeks, so we have to within 2 weeks get the money to bring it back to fix it, or do we just, it was such a horrible day. Here's the other catch. As I said at the beginning of the show, we don't use this car. So we're paying to have a car fixed that we don't actually use. The only thing we do is we move it from parking space to parking space to avoid tickets. And then there's snow bans in the winter where you can't park on certain sides of the road and we have to move it. The thing almost got caught in snow a couple times too. So we're paying to fix a car. So we'll spend like $1,000 to fix a car, which currently is for sale, or a car like it is for sale on Facebook Marketplace for $1,000. Or we sell it for parts right now, but we have to make a sale really quick before it gets a ticket and is impounded. Or do we keep it and put $1,000 into a car we only spent 6,000 for and we've already put 2,000 into that we don't even use? It was that type of day of deciding what to do with this thing. Finally, we called up a place that buys cars. They said for $159 we'll come and get it, which was really hard because for $1,000 it's fixed. It's a good car. It's got a few more years left, but decided we didn't want to spend $1,000 in a car we never use, literally, and we can't sell it. We'll just make that, it's a loss. So it was a really stressful day. And we had one friend who was like, "Oh, I'll put the window on. I'll just buy it on Amazon." I'm like, "Yeah, but you don't even know if we want to put the window on in the first place. Because do we even." It's just like, how much money do you pour into something before you've hit your limit? Before you've poured in too much? And so finally, the idea came up. We will give it to my fiance's brother, who is currently living with the folks. He's come back home. He's about my age. And he is got a job now at a factory with 12-hour shifts, and dad is driving him there and back. But dad's got some health issues, and there's just family issues. So we're kind of like, if we give him the car, now he has freedom. It relieves the burden from the folks. Well, maybe that's what we'll do. And so we talked to them, and they said they would reimburse us anything we spend, and then we're going to sell it to the brother for like $1 and just give him his freedom. Excuse me. I've been talking all day. So we're just going to give him the car for nothing, and he can have it, and he can have his freedom, and maybe then he'll also not be stuck, because where he's currently living is a house that's 10 minutes from a town, from anything, actually. It's in the middle of nowhere, and it's a good 20 minutes or so drive to work, maybe more, but it just gives him freedom, and freedom could mean he doesn't stay at home. He then goes out on his own, or he leaves because he doesn't live here anymore. He doesn't live in Maine anymore. He just came back 2 months ago. So we figured that was sort of the ethical thing to do, is to let him go and have this car that he could get a good few years out of. He can do things. He can go for dates again if he wants, or pick up chicks or whatever he wants to do, which he can't do now. And it just gives him a lot. So that's what we're going to do. So everything kind of worked out for us. Um, you know, Taking a day off from work was not a big deal. No one minded. It just was a story to tell when I went back to work yesterday. And we have another car. But here's the frustrating thing about this. If we were in a different position, if we had kids, we couldn't take the day off from work. Or maybe one of us is a single parent. Or maybe both of us have to drive to work. Right now, neither of us drive to work. We can literally walk. My girlfriend works less than a mile away. I work exactly a mile away. And I walk every day because I don't want to pay $170 for parking. But if maybe we had to drive, or maybe if the car was parked out here in the front where we have to move it within a week or get ticketed, or a couple of days, um, or maybe we don't have the money at all or we'd have to buy it's our only car, and we'd have to buy a new car, but maybe we don't have the money, you know, our life would be absolutely, you know what I'm saying. You know the word I'm about to say. Our life would be destroyed. It'd be easier, I said to my girlfriend, if they had just stolen the car and gotten away with it. We just walk out. Where's the car? I know. Report it lost. That'd be it. Maybe it'd show up in a wreck someplace. Because these are not car thieves that are doing this. These are just punks who just steal it, run it into the ground or something, whatever. They're not looking to replace the windshield in their underground auto dealer, auto garage, and then resell it. That's not what they're doing. If they'd just done that, it would have been easy. But now, one of us or some of us are going to be down $1,000 and time and energy and stress, and we've got to deal with this and do whatever. And yes, it's going to work out for her brother. It's going to work out really well. And I kind of call this as a major sign from God that God was like, this is an extra expense you can get rid of. And it's actually ironic that we didn't trade it in back in November like we had the option to do. We waited till now when it can benefit her brother, greatly benefit him. So it actually worked out really well. But if any other situation with any other variables, and your life would have been messed up by this. Or let me rephrase this. Your life would have been bamboozled. No, seriously though. Your life could be absolutely destroyed by someone wanting to make a TikTok video and get likes on TikTok and be popular and go viral on TikTok. Think about it. That's it. What type of person does that? What type of person has such lack of intelligence, lack of self-esteem, lack of any decency, such emptiness, such lowliness, such animal instincts, that they would ruin somebody's life, a total stranger's, just to get likes on a TikTok video that will literally be forgotten within a couple days? What type of animal is that? What type of subhuman thinks like that? I can't think of a human that would think like, I'm going to fuck you over just because my self-esteem is so bad, and I'll have someone go, you cool dude, probably misspelling it on TikTok. What type of person does that? That's why I'm doing this show. I don't have any, like I said, I'm not feeling violated. I don't need money. This is not a fundraiser or, go whatever, start whatever that is thing. I'm not asking for pity or anything like that. I'm just amazed by such level of indecency. I'm going to show you a few photos here while I'm thinking of it. Just basic photos so you can see what someone did. That is the front seat. The glass was all over the back seat. We actually cleaned it up, and that thing you see in between is actually the casing underneath the cylinder, the steering column. They just ripped it out. Glass all over the place. Oh my God. Let's go to another one here. That is the driver's seat. That is the ignition switch. It's trashed. And I don't know if they were then trying to put some wires together and like in the old-fashioned days, but there's no wires you can connect here. They're all soldered off. But that is the ignition after they've taken off all these pieces. And then this is what our car currently looks like. Yeah, it's sitting there. We roped up the windows and we took the pieces and we laid them right on the chair. So if anyone sees this, oh, it's a Kia. Oh, yeah, someone failed. We ain't going to try to steal this. But that's where we are right now. But it's just, this took time to wrap that up and to clean the car. And we spent all day on this. But what type of person does this to somebody? My girlfriend and I discussed this, and we both came to the conclusion. We can understand if someone is seeking revenge on somebody, and you screwed me over, you didn't pay me, whatever, and I want to mess your life up. Okay, that's just garbage society. But I understand that. You go after a friend, you're going to screw them over like they screwed you over. Okay, fine. I understand the logic. I understand how someone could even be like a suicide bomber or a terrorist. Yeah, it's horrible. Those people are horrible. but they think they're doing good to make the world a better place for their god or their cult leader or whoever. They have something greater than them that they feel they've been called to serve, and that their death and their destruction of other people's lives and property will make the world a better place. Okay? I disagree. I think it's stupid. I think killing yourself just to knock out three people isn't, you could do so much more with your life. But I understand the idea of this, You're serving something greater than you. Okay, I got that. I understand even someone like Al Capone or a famous gangster, name anyone you want, who would do a crime like this. They would take the car, they would replace the window in their secret place, they would fix the ignition in their secret place with their tech guys, and then they resell the car. Or they paint it or do something, and now, whatever. They're making a profit. They're professional thieves. They know what they're doing. And they're looking to benefit from this. I understand that. Some people don't like holding 9 to 5 jobs. And they like working at night and owning guns. I just, even though I've known a few absolute 100% mafia folks in New York. Like, I've even seen one lift up a shirt, God damn it, pull out the gun because he was threatening someone in the bar I was sitting in 6 feet away from him. So I know these folks, and actually many of them were very decent, but they had some desire not to be a part of society, and then they were going to do their own thing. And they're just trying to make a living and make more money, and, they're not trying to be famous. That's the opposite of what they want. They just are trying to make a living in their own way against society. I kind of can understand that, Society sucks. But to just screw with somebody for likes on a video, to ruin somebody's life for likes on a video. And people have been killed over this, actually. So to get someone killed just to be like, yeah, I'm cool on a video that maybe after a few hours won't get any more views. What type of mentality do you have? How much of your brain is functioning? What type of animal must you be? I'm not calling immigrants animals. I don't know. This could be a white, black kid. I don't know. Could be a native. I'm not calling immigrants animals. Don't do the Donald Trump argument with me because I'm not doing it. I'm saying someone who is not living a... This is such crap motivation. Just for likes on a video. What type of person are you? Well, I know you're probably desperate for a girlfriend, because I can't see any woman with a brain wanting to think that you're cool. Oh yeah, that's going to be the father of my baby. He's going to take care of me. Nice. I can see this guy's going places. And any woman that is with you, you've probably gotten pregnant, and she's stuck with you and now miserable. So maybe you're just totally there's no strip clubs around here that are any good. So you're breaking into cars, but still your mentality must be low. And again, we were like, if it's a thief, at least they would have taken something. We have a friend who was hanging out with us throughout the day who actually had his car broken into that he was living in, and they took everything. He had watches, they took those, they had 50 cents laying there, they took everything. That's a thief. You want a profit. You put your time in, you're going to take something. These weren't thieves. They didn't take anything. There was a Gatorade in the back seat. They could have just grabbed a Gatorade. At least you get something to drink. These are warm days. It's like 60 degrees yesterday. Get yourself a Gatorade. You've worked for it. Nope. They just, when they were just doing this. Just for doing this for a freaking TikTok video. On this channel, on this show, I'm always encouraging all of us, those who practice Anata Dharma like myself, and even if you don't, I'm encouraging all of us to live good lives and be good people and connect with God and grow spiritually and be healthy. And then I'm reminded that there are people in this world who are so polar opposite of that. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. And I was listing those people who I can forgive, like gangsters, you're out for revenge. I can even forgive, no, forgive's not the wrong word, but I can understand someone like Pol Pot, the current Kim, whatever his name is, North Korea, um, um, Fidel Castro, Soviet Union, Lenin, Trotsky, Stalin, etc., Khrushchev, um, Adolf Hitler. I can understand those people who created the greatest atrocities ever because they thought they were doing something. They were purging the world of evil people, or they were trying to give themselves power. Power is a drug. I can understand that. I can understand Hitler. He thought he was doing great things. He was cleaning up the world, he thought. I can understand Stalin. He was going to have power and run the world. Who doesn't want that on some megalomaniac level? If you're crazy, sounds great. I can understand that. I can understand those who killed in the name of Charles Manson. He was God on earth. But to literally do something just so you can be like, look at me. I know I'm doing sort of the Japanese kawaii thing, but it's not cute. But you're literally going, FaceTime, let's do this. Hey, check it out. Check it out. Watch me put the screwdriver in. Yo, dude. Yeah, we got it. You're going to mess with your life just for a video. On a forum they're actually trying to ban. Which means if you made the video and then they banned it tomorrow, no one's going to see your video here. Or none of your friends in your neighborhood are going to see it. What do you think? You're gonna put the video up and like Bill Gates gonna call you up? Yo, that was so cool. I really loved how you broke into that person's car. Would you come and work for me? Donald Trump's like, yeah, I think you'd be great on my can you help me on my campaign? Tesla's gonna hire you tomorrow. Boeing's gonna be like, oh yeah, that person's got real ingenuity. What type of sadness must you have in your soul? Now, one might respond, we need to reach out to these people, whoever these people are. They weren't caught. They'll never be caught. We don't know who did this. Too bad. Um, but they're just criminals. And, we should maybe help them and save them and work with them. Yeah, I don't know who these people are, so we can't. And I never know who's going to be the next victim, so we can't. I don't know who's breaking in cars around here, so who do we speak to? It's an abstract concept. But I don't know if these people care. I don't think I can preach Sanatana Dharma to them all day long. Can I tell them about the love of Krishna and how cool he is? Can I tell them about, I don't even, Jesus loves you? Or maybe Buddha said this is all an illusion. So, hey, you don't need to break into a car. It's an illusion. Dude, can I play some good music for them? I don't think they could listen. I don't think they'd care. I think I don't know. I, I was a sociology major in college. So how societies work and this is fascinating to me. And still on this channel, you see this coming out in my personality. I love how people discover religions. I love how people grow. I'm a spiritual life coach. I'm studying Vedic psychology right now with Dr. David Frawley. I'm really into conversion and things and how we interact. This is just an innate interest to me and how we express ourselves and how we go about in the world. All this is just really fascinating to me. Um, so when I see people like this, I want to know who did this. I want to meet them, not so I can punch them, not so I can sue them into oblivion, but just so I can know what type of person would mess with someone's life just for a video, just to have a stranger say, "Good job, you cool man." Imagine how empty you must be. How empty of a person you must be. It's not even like you're in a gang. Maybe this was a gang, but we don't really have any gangs around here that I'm aware of that I've ever heard of. My girlfriend said something funny. She goes, if you're going to do this, why not go after the 1% who we don't like? There's some very wealthy people in this town, millionaires actually. Why don't you go after them? Because they're the ones we all hate. Why don't you punish them? Why pick on working class people? Because you know who owns in the year 2024? Who owns a 2012 Kia Soul? It's not a millionaire. It's not the head doctor of the hospital. It's a working class person. Because a person who's very wealthy doesn't own a 2012 used car, which they park on the street because they probably have a driveway. So you're hurting working class people. And this whole neighborhood is full of actually really wealthy people and then also working class people, depending on where you are in this neighborhood. So my area is lots of students, lots of working class folks, and then you get up and there's lots of older homes which have some converted apartments, but then there's also wealthy people. Well, why don't you go after the wealthy people that we all seem to hate and rant on? Punish them. Why take it out on working class folks who are maybe in a lot worse situation than I am? I deliberately live in this little apartment. We could afford better if we wanted to, but it's cheap. It's under $1,000, and it works. For us to spend 2,000 a month for extra spaces, we'd rather have the money than spend it. So it's just a sacrifice we deliberately do. But there are others who are struggling. Why take it out? Why hurt someone's life for a video? Why? What type of person does that? As someone who preaches about spirituality and the growth of one's soul, that's the question I've had in my head for the last 2 days. What type of person is so empty inside and so stupid up here that they destroy someone's life with no outcome to show for? Nothing was shown for this. No car was stolen. They didn't even get a nice snow shovel. Just for a video, so someone will like them. I refuse to go on TikTok. I refuse to go on X. I think they're both trash, and this is a demonstration of it. So that's all I got to say. I need to go out for a run now because I got a marathon in a week. Life continues, and I'm very lucky. And this has been a situation where the outcome of this will benefit somebody. It will benefit my in-laws, and in an amazing way. So it's kind of ironic how this turned out, and it's money we don't need, or it's money we're spending that we're wasting. And I said to my girlfriend, I'm like, if they go up on our insurance, uh, the money we're going to spend on the current insurance, well, it'll just be transferred over. And we'll give the car away, and someone will be very happy. He's very interested. And him and his dog can go out cruising, and it'll be so much better. So it's a weird way of fate. Sometimes I look at these things as God stepping in. Um, Check out my previous episode on how do we know God's talking to us? How do we recognize it's His voice? And I tell you a story in that about God making a message in my life that was like, whoa, yeah, that was huge, but it saved me down the road. And so that's kind of how I've written this off. It was like, yeah, maybe God was telling us like this is how it's going to be, but instead of just whispering to us, going, hey, why don't you give the car to your brother? He had to create a trauma, but that's I don't know. Maybe it doesn't really work, but it's the best explanation that I have, because if he just said, hey, just give the car to her brother, she wouldn't have. She doesn't get along with him. They don't like each other. So if someone had suggested this, we never would have given the car to him. So I guess we needed, now that I'm talking out loud, I guess we needed this, horrible event to then wake us up and go, oh, okay, all right, fine. We'll give her the car and give it to him. He'll still hate you, but fine. It's the best thing. We never would have done this without such an event. So it's kind of an interesting situation now that I pontificate on this. So that's kind of how I've written out, and it worked out for us. But wow, I mean, it's just what I mean. But these things like this, they yeah. Like I said, I don't feel violated. I don't feel anything like that. I'm not looking for your pity or your sadness, or we don't need anything. So please, no fundraisers. If you want to support me, just go to my website, buy one of my books, or on any of the live shows here that I talk about books, there's an Amazon link, and it's an Amazon Associates link. So you can buy the books that I talk about, and I will get a small percentage. That way you can support this show and you can support me. I'm not looking for anything. I'm just venting out loud about what type of humans are on this earth? What type of humans are on this earth that just do something for for the likes, for the likes on a social media platform? How sad is society? That's all I'm talking about today is how mind-boggling sad is it that that's the state of our society? Has it always been like that? Did we have an equivalent of this in the pre-social media world? I don't think so. I mean, people just sat at home and were miserable or went out and got drunk. But there was no way to validate and get likes. But yeah, it's a strange world. I'm talking out loud. There's no, no answers to anything I'm really asking. I'm not asking questions. It's just I just want to know what type of person this is. What goes through their head? Oh, I know what goes through their head. Nothing. And that's amazing that you can live in this world and be human and have nothing going on up there. Because all my life, this is all I do. I feed my head. Look at the books behind me. I got two bookshelves behind me. I got another one over here, actually. And you can't tell, but these bookshelves, I mean, look at the books stacked up here. But there's another set of books behind this one. That's how much I read. And I play music. I study. I'm working on my bass. Just this morning I was stringing up the pickup on it. I listen to great music. I live a fulfilling life doing things. I do the show. And to think God, if you were even a drug addict, I could get that. Let's go break into this car, man. This sounds really fun. I could get that. But these aren't drug addicts. There's no drug addicts going to be, what was it, a screwdriver? What's that, a hammer? I don't know, No, these were people actually doing something and they were focusing and then trying and they failed and yeah, I'm lucky I don't live in a city that's heavy crime. This isn't Detroit or Chicago or Brooklyn, Jamaica, New York, or whatever, or whatever. There is increasing crime in where I am here in Portland, Maine. It's sad. Um, every time I have a visitor up here, they're always a little shocked by how it's rough here, and they're shocked, like, "Wow, I'd never expected." But I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, times have changed." I had a friend came up here from New York City. He lives on Wall Street, and he said, "I felt less safe in Portland, in your little city of 66,000, than I do in New York City." And I'm like, "Yeah, I do too." uh, it's very weird. Anyways, I just wanted to share this very personal day, very personal event. Just get it off my shoulder and throw some random thoughts out there because it, kind of does go with what I talk about here and just vent. Um, so that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Okay, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. As I said, I have a marathon this next week, a 25K, and my girlfriend at the same time will be running a 100K. Yeah, so that's 15 miles and then what, 63 or something miles? So if you don't see a show for a couple weeks, you know why. We're being bamboozled by a trail and our running shoes and doing our thing. Um, so next episode we'll go back to true spirituality, I promise. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining me. My best to you. Thank you for always for supporting this channel, for tuning in to, if nothing else, my down to earth stories and just life in the fast lane. Or currently my car is not going in anything that's fast, but it will again. So look out for yourself, be careful, and your thoughts, comments, and all that stuff are appreciated. And yeah,